Oftentimes, when I'm watching TLC Sister Wives, I ask myself, where does this guy Kody Brown get off thinking that he's so special, so wonderful, and so great? Then it occurs to me, this isn't just a guy with an inflated ego. He thinks that he's a god. Hi, I'm James, and this is my take on reality. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Kody, the Brown family, and how the Brown family is actively trying to shun Christine for leaving, and why it failed. Now, as always, if you guys are getting anything from the channel and you're not subscribed, I would ask that you consider subscribing. It helps the channel, it helps me, and hey, who doesn't want to help a brother out? So go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below in the form of the HBO special, and I'd appreciate it. Also, if you're already subscribed, thank you. I appreciate it, and if you want to continue to support the channel, you can go ahead and give us a thumbs up. That lets me know that you guys are still enjoying the content and you're getting something from it. Now let's get it. Two things have to happen in order for this shunning to work. The first thing is, Christine can't leave. You can't shun an empty room. You can't ignore something that's not there. So in order for the shunning to work, they have to keep Christine close in order for her to be punished for her willingness to leave. So what Robyn and Kody have been doing systematically since this all started, and many of you from what I read in the comments, as well as even for me as I'm watching the show, I've always kind of asked the question, why are they so desperate to keep somebody around who doesn't want to be around? And you're so quick to kick out somebody, Meri, who wants to be there, and you're telling her, why don't you just leave? You can go stay a state away. I don't care. Just do your thing, girl. I don't want you. Why are they so quick to get rid of one, but they're not quick to get rid of the other? Because in this instance, both serve a purpose. With Meri, you have to keep her around because she's the example of what happens if you try to leave Kody. And he'll withdraw his presence. And even how he punished her and how he was punishing him. His entire punishment was always, I won't come around to your house tonight. I won't come and see you. I'll ignore you. I'll ignore the kids. I will punish you that way. I ignore you by removing my presence. And so in order for him to be able to remove his presence to punish her, because again, he's a god, in order for him to do that, Christine has to be present. She has to be there. And so they've started about the business of trying to stymie her on every attempt she uses to try to get out of the family. So when she tried to sell the house, Kody wanted to create a roadblock for her not to be able to sell the house so that way she has to stay in the home and she has to stay local. Then he tried to use Truly so that way she couldn't leave because it was so important that he, the God, spend time with Truly and bless her with his presence. So you can't leave. When that didn't work, he wanted to try to create a situation where he started to cut into half her money when he was so pressed about, we were going to split things 50-50. Why don't we split the money up 50-50? She should give me everything, basically. And what that was going to do was that was going to hobble her attempt to be able to go out and be able to provide for her and Truly. And then she would realize by leaving that situation that there's nothing out there, if you recall Kody saying it, there's nothing out there and there's nothing better than me because I am the light. And so with that being said, we start to see how the family breakdown is starting to occur because they require her to be present. Even with Robyn's speeches and what she was trying to tell Christine on Christine's porch when Christine told her she was selling the house. It was basically, well, in order for you to leave, you can't leave because you guys aren't even separated. In order for you to get a divorce, you just can't say it. You can't believe it in your heart. No. You have to go to the church and ask for permission. You have to seek lots and lots of counseling. You have to talk to all these people and jump through all these extenuating hoops. You have to be able to go and get paperwork that, I don't know if you didn't sign paperwork in order to get into a thing, why you would have to sign paperwork to leave, which is ridiculous to me. And one of the craziest things she said is, you have to go and prove to the elders of the church that neither Kody nor Christine belong to anymore. You have to prove to them that the marriage doesn't exist anymore. And at that point, they will acknowledge that the marriage doesn't exist and they will dissolve it. The funny thing is about that, everything that she talked about, aside from maybe filling out a piece of paper and having the paperwork signed or executed, everything else is subjective. It is all relative. So what's a lot of counseling? Is that 5 sessions? Is that 15 sessions? Is that 50 sessions? What's proof? And what's clear and convincing evidence that this relationship isn't working? What's evidence that you tried? Is it that you come in with tape recordings and you give them the box set so they can sit there and binge watch the episodes and try to figure out that Kody is a slime bucket and that she should be married to him? Like, what would be the proof? There wouldn't be enough proof, and it would all be subjective, and in that case, she would never be able to leave the situation. The second thing that was vital for the shunning to work and be effective was all members of the organization have to participate in the shunning. And what we saw was, Robyn, she went over to Meri's house. She started talking to Meri and started bad-talking Christine, trying to get Meri on her side, get Meri worked up so that she could send her out. Robyn got Meri. Then she was sit up there on the patio or sit over there on Coyote Pass, and perhaps that was another reason why she was sitting on Coyote Pass looking down on Janelle's property trying to figure out when she was home, because this was supposed to be a moment for her to be able to go down and try to recruit Janelle into the group and solidify her support for the shunning of Christine. What she also did when they were talking on the porch, and I couldn't figure it out, how she mistakenly thought that Kody was talking about, or Christine was talking about Robyn and Kody's relationship in Vegas and how that was a thing, and she started bringing in Janelle, if you recall that. And it was like weird that she did that. What she was doing was she was trying to create the element of we. So in that instance, she was saying that Kody and I were having a good relationship. Meri and Kody, they were having some struggles, but at that time, they were having a decent enough relationship. Janelle, you were having a great relationship with Kody. In fact, it was the best relationship you ever had with Kody. Remember how wonderful it was? See, we all were able to function with Kody, and we didn't have a problem with him. If anybody had a problem, it was you. And because you're the only person out of the three of us who had a problem, then it's you. In Robyn's approach of trying to pull Janelle in, and she already had Meri in her camp, she was going to actively come at Christine. And what was supposed to happen was when she came out and she started firing off, Robyn started firing off about how Christine was a liar and how she was misrepresenting the facts, the other two women were supposed to jump right on Christine with Robyn and start beating her down verbally and make her feel bad and make her feel unwanted and make her feel that she's not making the right decision and start second-guessing her decisions to leave Kody. And that way she could stay in the group and receive her punishment. The reason why the shunning failed is because at its root, the shunning is a punishment that derives from the fact that Kody is removing his presence. In the same token, the reward is that Kody comes around more and he's present more. Now, when you look at this situation, in the words of Alice Sebold, medicine and poison are oftentimes the same thing, just administered in different doses. When Kody had abandoned and neglected the kids for years and years, and he wouldn't come around and he wouldn't be present for the children over the course of years, Christine was still afraid. She didn't think she could do it without him. She didn't think that she could survive without him, because that's how she was indoctrinated into the group. That's how the culture had demanded that she find response to his actions or inactions in coming around or not coming around. She needed him around. She couldn't survive without him. She would fail without him. What COVID did, and the pandemic and the isolation as well as the lockdowns, what they did was they forced the situation on Christine where Kody refused to come around because he wanted to spend time with Robyn and her kids and isolate in that big old house that she has, that luxury mansion that she has. By him doing that, he created and set the stage to unlock the cage that held Christine in. He's the one, by his neglect of Christine and not coming around and not feeding her and not being present gave her the courage to recognize that she didn't need him. She oftentimes mentioned that because of the pandemic, she realized that she didn't need to have Kody around because at the end of the day, he was hardly around anyway. But now it was crystal clear that he wasn't coming around. The poison that Kody was trying to give her was saying that I'm not coming around. But the medicine that Christine needed to heal herself from this situation was Kody not coming around. And the less he came around, the stronger she became. She began to develop an immunity towards Kody's representation and Kody's poison, where he was saying that if you don't do what I say, then I'm not coming around. Cool, don't come around no more because I'm not looking for you. Now, one of the things I noticed was that as Christine was talking about leaving the group and the idea of the shunning in the Brown family wasn't working on her, and the whole attempt to try to get Janelle on their side wasn't working, and frankly, if Janelle would have flipped and joined Kody and Meri and Robyn, I think it would have hurt Christine's feelings, but she was in a place where it wouldn't have made a difference. And in that power, Christine recognized and that she actually had the power and she was strong enough to do it. And Robyn and Kody recognized that the Brown family just wasn't strong enough, it wasn't big enough, and it wasn't influential enough to make the shunning actually work. So what Kody tried to do, and what even Robyn tried to do, and to a degree it kind of worked. What they tried to do was they tried to say, we have spent the last 12 years begging the public to accept our marriages, our family, and our relationships. We've been struggling to be accepted by the general public. And by you, Christine, divorcing me, you are delegitimizing not only our relationships, our struggles as husband and wife, but you'll be delegitimizing our family, which means the union that we had and it spawned our children was not real, that it was all fake. And you will never be accepted not only in my family, but you won't be accepted by the general public, who will always see you as an outsider. And that was the implication from Kody. And even Christine in her confessional, she said or admitted, by leaving, some people may see her as a faker and some people may question her choices as to whether she was genuine or not. And she said that she had to be firm in understanding that she did the best she could. She believed in the situation when she was in the situation, and now the situation doesn't work for her. She's ready to leave the situation and she's okay with it. And at the end of the day, that's the one thing that I would suggest to anybody who's in a like situation. When you are looking for strength and you're looking for power, you have to focus on your priorities. In Christine's case, she started to focus on her priorities. She made herself a priority and she made her children a priority. And when faced with the opportunity or faced with the possible reality that the rest of the world may be against her, that the Brown family may rise against her, she was okay with it because she knew that the things that were important to her were more important than whether she had approval from the Brown family or whether she had approval from the rest of the world. Being strong in yourself gives you more power than you realize. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCA.